Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. It is Sunday afternoon, early afternoon. It's only like 11:23, so I guess technically it's still morning. The time change is who I fault for me not even knowing what time it is, because my body feels like lunchtime, but the time on the clock is really very much so giving like brunch, quite possibly morning. I still feel like I could be asleep, but I also feel rested. It's a very confusing place to be in. I'm just thankful that I'm not on school drop-off duty right now, because that's when it really hits that the time has changed. So I'm going to keep my husband lifted up in prayer, as he is the one that has to get up super early tomorrow morning to do all of the things. And I probably could get up just to be moral support, but I feel like, no, I haven't had the opportunity to sleep in on daylight savings or fall or whatever this is called. Haven't had the opportunity to sleep in on this particular school day. And I want to say my oldest child is 15. She started preschool when she was 3. So about 12 years. So I feel like tomorrow I just need to sleep in just because, which really I can't sleep in because he's going to bring me that breakfast just like they did at the hospital at the crack of dawn. So I can at least sleep until my breakfast is delivered. And it's funny because he still asks me like for my birthday, and he makes a whole thing out of it every morning. But anyway, girl, let's talk about what's on my table. I had the pleasure of going to Costco. And, people pick on me about my love of Costco and how I would just go there just because sometimes, or how I would just go. I literally would go to Costco just to buy eggs. Like if we were running low, or if I knew I was going to be doing a lot of baking, I go to Costco literally just for the eggs, because it's like the best deal on them. You get like, 2 dozen eggs for, I want to say it's $7 and some change. And they're like brown, large eggs. I almost want to say they might be organic, but I might be making that up. They're at least free range. I don't know, them some good chicken eggs. And that's also where I get the blue eggs from too. Those are also $7 and you get 18 of those. But anyway, we went to Costco, and of course I was very happy to be there. This is one of the best times of year to be in Costco because they've got all kinds of things. Number one, I saw that book about Beyonce. It's $38. It will be going on my Christmas list. I almost bought it yesterday when I saw it, but I was just like, no, Tia, if you keep buying yourself things, then, what will he be able to get you for Christmas? So I showed him the book. We will see if the book ends up making its way into my house. But I definitely saw that book, and it's been trending on my internet, of course, because part of what's on my algorithm is definitely beehive type topics. The velour sweatsuits that I told y'all about in the last call, and I'm going to tell you about them again because they are so soft and cozy. They're so soft and cozy. My thumb hit the mic. They feel good. They wash and wear really well. The colors are so vibrant. This year they did like a rich plum color. They did black, and they did like a Christmas green. I got the plum color yesterday while we were in the store. They are on sale for $14.99. What I especially love about these suits right now is the fact that this is probably the first outfit that I have been able to wear and pull up the pants over my colostomy bag, because they're drawstring and they're that soft and like stretchy that I've been able to pull them up and wear them like pants. And then you could not see my bag through the outfit because of the jacket and all of that. So for $14.99, if you need a good throw-on, knock-around outfit, please don't act like I never mentioned this before on this podcast. But what did I buy that's actually something you can eat that tastes good? And Costco may have had this for a while, but obviously, like, I haven't been able to get it. So if it's not new to you, you just pretend that it is. They have something called the Mediterranean orzo pasta. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's orzo pasta. It's olives. It's spinach. It's pepperoni, like chunky diced pepperoni, and tomatoes. And the brininess, the saltiness of what they have that salad dressed in is so perfect and it's so good. Like, it's not too salty. It's not too briny. If you're a person that likes olives, you will like this salad, because to me, that's what it tastes like for the most part. You probably will be able to taste the fact that they probably poured olive juice into whatever dressing they made for this. You don't get much lemon from it. Like, it doesn't really give lemony to me. It definitely gives like salty briny, but in a good way. And when you eat it and you get bits of cheese, because I think there was a little bit of cheese in there, and it wasn't feta cheese. Not that I can remember, because I feel like feta cheese would have made it too salty. That may have been little pieces of mozzarella cheese, because it was like a softer cheese that didn't have that big of a flavor impact on the salad, but it's so good. I got a tub of it for $12. I have been eating it with chicken, of course, and it has been perfect. If you have seen it, but you were on the fence about trying it, girl, get it. Get it and try it. It does have a lot of orzo pasta in it. So if you're a person that's like afraid of carbs, or you're going to look at it and be like, oh my gosh, it's carbs. Orzo pasta is like rice. They're like little rice size pieces of pasta. And you could definitely portion it out, but it tastes good, and it would be really good with a lot of things, on a lot of things. I feel like it's perfect. So give it a shot. And that was really the only new thing that I saw while we were going through there, the little section of Costco where they have like the prep foods already. That was the only thing that was new to me over there. They also had chicken pot pies, which I'm not a chicken pot pie fan, because I don't like peas, the little green tennis ball shaped peas. I don't like those, and those tend to be in everything. Costco does have a really good shepherd's pie, though, because I've tasted it when they hand out the samples, and I can't remember if that one has peas in it. The only reason I've never purchased it is because it's so huge that truly I would need to split it with another family. Like, there's no way my family alone would eat a whole pie. So that's also something good at Costco right now, if your Costco has them. Moving right along, because I feel like that's all I've eaten. Oh, and I did share on Instagram that I tried Body Armor drinks for the first time. I want to say they have 700 milligrams of electrolytes in each drink. The flavors that I tried were the zero sugar fruit punch and the regular tropical punch. Both flavors were amazing. People messaged me and confirmed what I learned. Like, oh yeah, girl, those are really good. Or yeah, girl, my kid has been drinking those ever since they came out. He or she really loves them. So like, yeah, Body Armor is really tea, and it tastes better than Gatorade. Like, the flavor is way better than Gatorade. And I don't know if that's because Body Armor has a coconut water base. I don't know if it's that, because I don't like coconut water on its own. So I'm not sure, or if they just put more into the flavor of their beverages. But if you're a person that needs electrolytes and you don't like the little powder sticks and you don't like Gatorade or Powerade, try Body Armor, because that one really tastes good. And I mean, I had no idea. I think I'm still quite shocked about it. I feel like no one told me and everybody knew. And y'all know how I be working out and stuff. So I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me about Body Armor? But that's neither here nor there. Try those. Okay. Moving on. An update on what I got going on. So I graduated from the infectious disease doctor last week. I went to my appointment last Wednesday and they were like, we don't need to see you anymore. Your labs look good. Your white blood cell count has been like normal for the last 2 times I've had my blood drawn. So they're like, and that's been with you not taking antibiotics. So like, you're good to go. We don't need to see you anymore unless you develop a fever. If you get a fever of any kind, like, you definitely need to either come up here or call or something. But as long as you don't develop a fever, like, you're fine. We will monitor your progress once I have my reversal surgery. They said they would keep their eyes on my blood work while, I'm going through that. And as long as nothing weird shows up on my labs, they're like, you're good. You don't have to come back over here, which made me very happy. Very happy to no longer have the E. coli bacteria floating around in my body, because that is something that if I could be the only person that I know who ever experiences it, I would like to take that up for the greater good of all the women that I know. No one else should really have to go through that. If you know how people say like, oh, 1 in 10 or 1 in 3 or 1 in 7, this will happen to whoever. Hopefully I'm the one for you. Because let me tell you, you do not want that floating around in your system. You do not want to have to go see an infectious disease doctor, which my doctor was great. He was so nice. He really was firm with what he felt like my plan needed to be. And I remember the first day that I met him in the hospital, he told me, he was like, I'm gonna get your numbers down. He basically said, without saying it, I don't know what these people over here at this hospital have been doing with you, but you're in good hands now. And I'm gonna see to it that you get better. And he really did. He really did. I love me some of that man. He really did what he said he was going to do. So I'm free from the infectious disease doctor. My big scan, the scan that I've been waiting for and anxiously anticipating, is also on Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning at 9:45. I go, and that scan will determine what happens with me next. And I am praying super hard that that scan shows that I'm good to go for my reversal surgery. Not that the colostomy bag has been the worst of any of this, because it certainly has ended up not being. But I do feel like now that I feel better, I would just like to, start moving towards getting back to the natural rhythm of my life, and to just not have the colostomy bag be like a thing. I also feel like some of the stuff they told me in the hospital, like the nurses, I was telling my mom this yesterday. I was like, I kind of feel like now that I'm able to solely focus on the bag, some of the stuff they told me in the hospital, I think they were just telling me those things to be nice. I don't really think all of those things were based in truth. Like, I remember the nurses being like, oh, girl, like, you'll be fine. You can go. You can be out and about, like, living your life with this. And I know people do it, but they were making it seem like it was going to be super easy to be emptying out this bag. Like, you can empty it out the way you go to the bathroom, right? Which is a very quick process. And maybe it is for some people. Maybe I'm just too, no pun intended, anal about like the cleanliness of it, because it's still very much so new to me. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine being out and about, bouncing around for too long with this, and like having to empty it out in like a public place. I couldn't imagine what that would be like. So yeah, no, I'm like, girls, you didn't have to sell me that dream. Number one. And number two, and this might be too much for some people, but it is the truth, so I'm going to share it. They also made it seem like, oh, like, girl, you won't be able to like smell that bag. Now, what I have learned is people around me apparently say that they cannot smell it. This is what they say. Again, I don't know how true that is, But like the person wearing it, oh, baby. Like I can tell when it's time for this bag to get changed because it is the only thing I can smell all the time. And my husband says that's because you know what it smells like. So like you can smell it because you know the smell. He was like, but I promise you, people around you cannot smell it. He was like, they have to be right up on you to be able to smell it. He was like, and nobody is ever that close to you. Yeah. So I'm sure like, yeah, I don't know. But and I think because of that alone, because I now am being able to be more aware of it, that's why I'm like, yeah, I think my time with the bag is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And I'm very thankful for that because I feel like it is starting to, it is just starting to be something that I would say that I'm more self-conscious about. And that could be because I'm feeling better and I want to do more things. And it's kind of like you gotta camouflage and hide the bag. Can other people smell the bag? Because I feel like I can smell it. And then you know what else about this bag that I found to be interesting? I was also telling my mom this. I'm like, I could empty this thing out like as I'm getting dressed to go do something. I'm like, I can empty it before I am done even getting dressed or right after I put my clothes on. I'll need to empty it again, which really is going to give me such a mental struggle once this is over, because I'm like, with this bag, you realize how much your body produces poop and you realize how much of it would just be, I guess, coming out of you on a regular basis. And I know that naturally your body doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, your body at least waits for you to go to the bathroom. And since the majority of us listening to this podcast are women, you know that you could sit down to pee and more than pee will happen, right? Now, number one, that doesn't happen to me with the colostomy bag. But two, now I could literally be doing anything all day long. And it's just kind of like, wow. Yes, even if I may have been what I would consider to be regular before this, this is like being hyper regular. Like the stuff just doesn't sit in you at all, which I think is good to know, because I'm like, a lot of times I think we might be inflamed because of something that we ate or drank, when really I'm starting to believe like, no, sometimes I think people are inflamed, and myself included in this, because poop is just sitting in you longer than what it needs to be. And that is making you inflamed. It's not necessarily something you're consuming, because I know what I eat, and I know I before this I was eating pretty much an anti-inflammatory style of eating for the most part. And yeah, I notice a difference. So it will be interesting to me to see like just how all of this works once it's reversed. Like, will this permanently change my whole digestive system for the better? Maybe. One could only hope that something positive and good would come from this in that way. Or will my body eventually go back to the way that it was, and I'll just get back on my natural rhythm, which had its ebbs and flows depending on where I was like in the month. So all of that is very interesting to me, and I'll continue to share the things that I learn and the things that I notice, just in case something in there is helpful to somebody. So far, I have been making a connection with the way that they have me eating, as it could possibly be compared to a keto style of eating. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm like, oh, there might be something there. And maybe I was too hard on Halle Berry when she was promoting the whole keto thing. Might have been too hard on her. Not that I will continue to keep eating that way, because the first opportunity I get to eat some beans or peas, I'm not the little green ones, but any other bean or pea, I'm going to take up the opportunity to do that because I miss them. But have I learned going through all of this that maybe I was eating too many beans and peas? Possibly. Like maybe those didn't really agree with me the way that I thought that they did. So I don't know. But as I continue to make little notes, I will share them just in case that helps anybody else. Let's talk about what I really called you to say. Because I know in like the past couple of calls, I kept talking about my hobbies, the things that I've been doing in my free time. And I kept saying that I would elaborate on them, but then I get sidetracked. We start talking about something else and then I forget, or we just run out of time because I'm really trying to keep these episodes closer to an hour or less. And sometimes that's really hard for me because I get up here and I just like to chat. So I wanted to start with the hobbies this time. A friend of mine had shared something on Instagram about returning to an analog way of living. And if you search that on Instagram, you might be able to come up with the post. It was a carousel slide thing of different ways that you can slow your life down and try to get back to a way of living that wasn't so digitally focused, right? It slows you down because now you got to wait on stuff. For example, you might read a physical book instead of using like a Kindle reader, or you might use an old school camera instead of using your phone, right? You might write down an actual grocery list on a piece of paper, which I prefer to use Post-it notes for my grocery list. So the grocery list thing, I feel like that should always be a handwritten thing. Something about your grocery list being written down, I feel like just helps you out so much. But anyway, you write down your grocery list instead of using your notes app, or maybe some people do it with the voice note, whatever, right? And when I read that whole post and all of the slides, I was like, oh, this is so right. Like getting back to hobbies or ways of doing things that make you slow down could really be the secret to the whole thing we always talk about up here, which is trying to romanticize your life or trying to find joy in things and really being able to experience the joy because you're not rushing yourself through it. Which brings me to the hobbies that I'm practicing during this time, and I'll continue to do them when this is over. But since I have the additional free time, I've been able to really dive a little bit deeper into them, starting with learning to crochet. Now, on our last call, I asked people for recommendations of hobbies because I was truly having a hard time thinking of things that I could do that didn't involve a lot of movement, that could possibly be inexpensive to start, that seemed like it would be easy to start, and that would just be good for me in this time. And one of the ladies that listens to the podcast messaged me and was like, think about crocheting or like knitting. And so we talked about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Michael's. I looked it up on the website, and this is how you know sometimes things are just perfect for you. I looked up a crochet kit on Michael's website. The crochet kit was on sale. Like it wasn't even $15. I think it was $12. It came with all of the different size needles, all the little thingamabobs you need to complete a crochet project. It came with a book that teaches you how to do lots of different things, lots of different stitches. But of course, once I got my stuff, I went on YouTube to get videos to help me with that. And she actually sent me videos that were very, very helpful, that helped me get started. One of the videos that she sent me, that person's whole channel, and I want to say it's called, is it called Crafting for Weeks? Maybe. I don't know. But one of the channels that she sent me, I love like every video that's on that channel. So I've been primarily using that person's channel to like teach me everything. The yarn that was at Michael's the day that I went to do my pickup order, The yarn was buy one, get one half off. So I got 2 huge things of yarn for like $6. Now, the only thing that I would have to say about that whole situation is when I went to Michael's, I did a pickup order for my crochet kit. For whatever reason, and people couldn't find it. The girl that was behind the counter, and if, you know how some of the young people are these days. They don't have an ounce of anything in them, right, to actually help you. She looked where pickup items were supposed to be and didn't see mine, and then just proceeded to not look anywhere else or to try to problem solve that situation at all. And when I realized that I was literally just standing at the counter and she was no longer like helping me, I went back to where crochet items are in the store. There was 1 kit left. I grabbed that 1 kit. I grabbed the yarn because while I was back there, I was like, oh yeah, Tia girl, you're going to need yarn for this. And you didn't buy yarn in your pickup order. So I grabbed the yarn. I go back up front. I purchase my yarn. And I go. And as I was walking out of the store, I was just like, oh, well, anybody can come in here and just grab anything. Because, yes, what is happening up here? But anyway, so I get my stuff. I get home. I pull up the videos. And I have been crocheting ever since. Let me tell you about why I know I'm about to be a crochet girly. And I know it's early, right? It's been like a week maybe. I know I'm a crochet girly because when I'm sitting and I'm watching TV now, I'm watching TV, but I'm really crocheting. And I have learned 2 different stitches. I've learned how to get my crochet project started, and then I've learned 2 stitches. And I'm trying to determine, if I'm ready to introduce myself to a 3rd stitch or not. I think what I'm probably going to do, instead of introducing myself to a new stitch, I'm going to introduce myself to new yarn. I'm going to get some of the chunky yarn that's meant for blankets. And I think I'm going to learn how to work with that and like the larger needle, because both stitches that I've learned so far could make a blanket. Like I could make a blanket if I wanted to. And so I think I'm going to do that. Like and this is where going low and slow and just enjoying the process, I think comes into play, because the me in me would say, okay, girl, you've mastered those 2 stitches, move on to a new one. When I think the more enjoyable thing to do would be to take the stitches that you know and then make something. Like bring something to life based on what you already know and then move on. Like I don't have to be in a rush to learn all of the stitches. You can only work on one project at a time, which more than likely from what I'm learning might only really even utilize like maybe 1 or 2 stitches at the most, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit with these 2 stitches that I know. I'm going to order some of the blanket yarn that's, for nice, cozy blankets. And I'm going to start working on my first blanket. And I think what I probably will do, if I'm able to control myself, which hopefully I will be able to, but I think what I'm going to do is work on little projects all throughout 2026 and use those as like different gifts for things, probably in the holiday season. Because what I have also learned about crochet, and this is why that stuff is so expensive. Like once you start learning how to do something, you realize why people price things the way that they do, right? Now I understand why some blankets and things just cost a lot of money, because I'm like, it might take me and I'm new, so I'm probably slower than like someone who can actually crochet really fast, but it might take me 11 or 12 hours to make one blanket. I joked on my private Instagram page to like my family, like, oh, now that I know how to do this, y'all know I'm about to open up an Etsy store. It was just a joke. I have no intentions on doing that. And so I was having to respond to my family saying like, girl, no, like my fingers would actually kill me. My hands would fall apart. I would not be able to sustain a business, because what do you mean one project takes you that long to make? I could not and will not. I have no desire, but I do want to be able to make things that I could put cute little tags on and give them away as gifts to people in my family. I think that is a much more achievable goal for this, and it keeps me actually practicing crochet. So thank you to the woman that recommended that to me. I have been enjoying it so much. I'm very excited about trying the new chunky yarns and possibly, starting my first real blanket. I have so many ideas of things that I would like to make and do to give away that I feel I could actually do based on the 2 stitches I know. So I'm super excited. I have also been learning the guitar, which I've been talking about this since last Christmas when I got the guitar as a gift. But let me tell you how timing is really everything. So I got this guitar last Christmas, and I had tried lots of different guitar lessons, lots of different instructors, and nothing was seeming to stick. I actually rented a guitar DVD from the library. And I was like, okay, this should be really good because I can just replay this DVD over and over again until I really get the hang of playing. I put that DVD into my little DVD player. That man that was teaching on that DVD, I don't know if he is I do know he's a teacher in real life, like a guitar instructor. He does that for a living, but I don't know what his musical background is. But when I mean to tell you, that man went full throttle from the moment he started. He was moving so fast through those lessons. I almost feel like this DVD, even though it says it's for beginners, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. So I instantly put that DVD back into the case, and I put it on my coffee table, and I said, oh, baby, you need to go back to the library because there's nothing I can do with you. I'm not there yet for this type of lesson. So then I get back on YouTube because I'm like, it's got to be somebody on YouTube that can teach me how to play the guitar at a pace that's not ridiculous, but that is fun and it's engaging, but not in an elementary way, right? And so I'm searching, and a man named Dez comes up. Now, initially, I thought Dez was just up there, just playing the blues. I thought his channel was just that, him playing the blues and him telling people, if you want to play this riff, these are the chords. But then as I searched through his channel, I saw that he had members only content that you could purchase. And one of the things that you could purchase were beginners lessons, where he teaches you a full week of guitar. His style of teaching is low and slow. And he said something in the very first lesson that I took. He said something that made so much sense to me that no one else on any app or video or DVD had mentioned before. And he said, much of playing the guitar is having the muscle memory in your fingers. You want to be able to move from chord to chord without thinking about it. He was like, and the only way you're going to develop that is just to move your fingers. He was like, so sometimes when you're holding your guitar, don't necessarily think about playing the chords all the time. He said, sometimes just take a minute when you can and just move your fingers from one chord to the next just to develop that muscle memory. And I sat on my couch and I said to myself, why hasn't anyone else recommended that? I have used several guitar lesson apps. I have been through the gamut on YouTube and TikTok. I was like, but nobody recommended that until I ran by Uncle Dez. So I ended up purchasing his week-long course, and I've been working on the 2 chords in that first class. And let me tell you, I have learned so much in his first 10-minute lesson than I have learned all year with anybody else. And that felt really good to me because I'm like, oh, I think everything just happens when it's supposed to. Like, and I wasn't supposed to find him or get this comfortable with my guitar until maybe now when I actually need something to do, right? Because before, trying to do lessons always felt like I was squeezing it in, and I would kind of be not stressed out about it, but I would be thinking like, dang, I made such a big deal last Christmas about getting this guitar and letting that be a hobby or a thing that I was doing, but I never could make true time for the lessons or to practice because I was always trying to squeeze that into my day. And now it's like I find the perfect instructor with lessons that I can actually relate to and execute, right? And I want to do it. Like I look forward to sitting down with Des and doing these lessons. And I can tell that I am growing. And like I said about the crochet, I don't feel rushed to move on to day 2 yet. I mean, I've bought the class, so I don't have to rush through it if I don't want to. But I'm like, yeah, I can sit with lesson 1 until I feel like I'm actually ready to move on to lesson 2. And that's exactly what I plan to do. I'm not moving on to lesson 2 until I can play the little song at the end of lesson 1 without Des having to like fully walk me through it. And right now I just rewind him and I let him walk me through it like every time I sit down to play. So I feel like that happened when it was supposed to. I'm learning chords E minor and D6 right now. And once I'm able to play the little tune at the end of the lesson, I'll play it for you guys up here. Because one of my goals for 2025 was also to do some type of guitar recital type thing. And since I don't think I'm going to have the time to do that, nor am I going to know enough chords to do that by the end of 2025, while I'm learning, when I master something, I will play it for y'all up here. How about that? That'll be good until maybe I can do what I really wanted to do. And my goal might be to do that at the end of 2027. No, 2026 is the next year. See how I just skipped over 2026? My goal is to be able to do it in 2026. One other hobby that I'm considering getting into, but I'm gonna caution myself so that I don't take on too many new things at one time. But I have a friend who shared with me that she watercolors. And I was like, oh, that has to be calming and soothing. That seems like a good hobby that you can do sitting down at the table. So I checked out books on watercolor from the library just to get an idea of what all goes into watercolor, like the theory of it, how far can one go? Like if I start off as a beginner, what are some techniques and things that I could possibly learn? And the world of watercolor is vast and deep. I'm very interested in it, but I also want to take a look at painting with acrylic and kind of compare the two. The only thing that kind of gets to me about the watercolor hobby is that if you decide that you want to like freestyle with it, meaning you just want to paint your own stuff, there's a lot that goes into paper selection for watercolor. And one of the things is you have to stretch your paper. And I think stretching the paper takes hours. So with the way my life is set up, if I decide that I want to watercolor, I want to be able to go sit down and watercolor. I don't want to have to like stretch paper, wait a day, and then watercolor, because the next day I might be in more of a crochet mood or a guitar mood. I might not be in a watercolor mood that day. So I'm going to see if painting with acrylics has the same type of setup. And if it doesn't, I might decide to go that way. But I'm going to do some reading about that and then compare the two. And then after that, I think I'm good. I don't think I need no more hobbies after that, because I'm still trying to be an avid reader. I'm still doing that, right? Our book club meeting is actually this coming week, right? It's on Thursday night. So I'm still doing that. Once I'm fully back into my own groove. Like, I still want to get back into making pasta, because y'all remember I started the year going to a pasta making class, and that was supposed to be a big thing that I did all year. And I was doing it up until the summertime. And then, over the summer, you're doing too much. Nobody's making homemade pasta really during the summer, or people might be doing it. I just wasn't doing it. Let me only speak for myself. But I was doing the pasta thing, so I want to get back into that. And then I really was trying to learn how to make different breads. Speaking of which, Costco also has a sourdough bread making kit right now. And I need to look it up and see if people have reviewed it. I need to see if people have done videos using it, whatever. I would love to make sourdough bread, but I feel like feeding the starter is where y'all lose me. Because you have to remember to do that, and you have to be like on top of it. So I feel like if I were to attempt sourdough bread, that would be a week, or I don't even know how many days you have to feed the starter. So let me start there. I need to learn that. However many days that is, that means I probably can't do any of these other hobbies on those days, because I would need to be able to remember to like feed my starter every day. Like, that would need to be my focus. So I don't know. But I would like to. I would like to get back into the whole baking of the bread thing. And so when you bring all of that together, I feel like that's enough hobbies. That's enough hobbies. Working out is definitely a hobby of mine as well, but that's kind of more like a thing you need to do just to sustain your life and your health. So I don't know if I consider it one of my fun, relaxing hobbies as much as it is, since I have to do this, I may as well enjoy it kind of hobby, So I feel like that's enough. If you have hobbies that you're interested in right now and you're practicing them on a regular basis, I would love to hear about them. You can message me. Some of y'all text me after these calls go out, and I absolutely love that. I love talking to you all about the things that I talk about up here, because that lets me know I'm right where I'm supposed to be with the people who tune into this. So share your hobbies with me. I'm always interested in learning about what other people are doing for fun that relaxes them and that brings them joy. Something that I read on Threads last week did not catch me off guard, but I think the people's responses to it caught me off guard. People were talking about the fact that I guess some of these young people who are younger than us, were not complaining, but they were kind of talking about how some of the things we do, they are now out of style. Like wearing jean jackets, wearing matte red lipstick, and there was something else. Oh, skinny jeans. They were like, skinny jeans, like that is so millennial, and you elder millennials are the worst offenders of some of these styles. I'm reading this, and then as one does, now you have to read the comments, because you have to see. I'm like, I hope people are not really offended by what these young people have to say, because they're young people. They don't know nothing. So I'm reading, and in the comments, yes, it was, I don't know who is an older millennial. I'm 41, so I would like to believe maybe that's me, because I definitely love a matte red lip. I just wore one on Friday for Halloween. And I, too, love a skinny jean, because I feel like you can put your boots over them. They look good with flats. They just look good with a lot of things, right? But people were really in their feelings about this, like they were offended. And I'm like, number one, you can't ever get offended off what no young people say, because they don't know. They don't know what they don't know because they're only 20, right? That's number one. Number two, a red lip looks good on anybody, as long as it's your shade of red. It looks good on anybody. And if you need a red, the Lip Bar's Boss Lady looks good on everybody. And it's a true matte long wear lipstick. Once you put it on, it's not going anywhere all day. You can eat, you can drink, you can live in that lipstick, and it's not going one place. Jean jackets, now I'll have to say I was never a huge jean jacket wearer. I had one jean jacket in high school. Oh, no, it might have been college. Actually, it was college. I had one jean jacket in college that was like a cropped jean jacket, and I wore that thing out because that one was cute on me. But for the most part, yeah, these days, I don't find myself to be a huge jean jacket wearer, but they look cute on everybody else. I'm more of a Canadian tuxedo girl, so I would be quicker to have on like a denim shirt before I had on a denim jacket. Skinny jeans, I've never met a skinny jean that I felt like I needed to return to the store or that I just wasn't gonna wear, right? I feel like skinny jeans will always have a place in my life, in my closet, in my wardrobe. I'm never giving them up. Now, I think what has happened is everything that used to be in Adelia's catalog from back in the day has come back in style. So the stripes, the oversized t-shirts and sweatshirts, the big baggy jeans, all that stuff has come back in style. So these young people think that that's fresh and new, when really, you really just look like an extra on Clueless. That is what a lot of them look like. A lot of times, and this is when the people in the comments were saying we were hating aunties. But I'm like, no, I'm not a hating auntie. But since you brought it up, I'm just going to state the facts. A lot of the stuff that I see, like the 20-somethings wearing now, especially a lot of the things that they are saying are designer, like I see a lot of them wearing Diesel. And I've never seen a Diesel outfit that I actually liked. Yeah, I just haven't. And I'm trying to think in my mind, like, have I seen one person? No. Nope, I haven't. Now, there are a couple people that I do follow on TikTok that dress that way with like the stuff that's in style now. And they look really cute, but their stuff is like a collection of items that they've either thrifted, they're mixing like high and low, or maybe they have things from when their parents were young. So, like it's a more cohesive look that doesn't look like they walked in the store and just bought what was on a mannequin. Whenever I see the things that you just know came from out of the store probably last week and it's all matchy, that stuff doesn't look good to me. If I, as a 41-year-old woman, were to dress like what these children are saying are in style, I wouldn't, and not that there is a such thing as dressing appropriately for your age, because there certainly is not, but that stuff just wouldn't look good on me. Like I would look like I was dressing up in a costume, or I would look like I was trying to cosplay as something that I'm not. It just wouldn't hit for me. And I think that's what people in those comments, maybe they should think about or just accept for themselves that, yes, we're in our 40s. We're not supposed to be necessarily wearing the trends of today that's for the 20s. If you like those trends, then yeah, find them in a way that looks good, like on us, right? And a lot of that stuff wouldn't look the same on us because we've worn that stuff already. Like we wore it back when it came out one of the first times. I don't think everything, like the bubble hem skirt thing that I think is they're still trying to make that happen. Maybe not as big as it was last year, but I still see it when I'm searching for stuff online. That particular trend, yes, I could see where a little 20-something, a college age person would have that on and it's going to eat down. I very well could see myself trying to wear that and it would go either way. Like it's no guarantee that it's going to eat because I'm 41 and I might look like a grown woman who put on a child's dress. I was watching a video on TikTok where this woman was talking about she was getting dressed for a black tie wedding, but her boyfriend did not tell her it was black tie, right? So the lady didn't know it was a black tie wedding until she got there. But she was making a get ready with me video, not knowing it was black tie, right? this woman who is my age put on to go to a wedding, which again, this is not like outfit shaming. This is just me saying, if I was going to a wedding, this would not have been what I would have thought of. I would not have selected this. But this is just to point out, you put on something that these young people are wearing and it's going to make you look like Punky Brewster. You're going to look like an adult kindergartner. She put on something that was like a frilly skirt. I want to say it might have even been made of tulle. It was like that unicorn color scheme with like the blues, the yellows, and the pinks. It had a matching top that also had that same color scheme. And I want to say maybe the shoulder had that same frilly tulle thing going on with it. And you know, I probably could have rocked with her on that. I probably could have been like, ooh, I don't even know where she got that from. But, you know, we all have a pastel color moment from time to time. This is not the worst thing. As long as she accessorizes this well, we're going to be okay. She put it on with some white Doc Martens. And that is what instantly made it an outfit for a kindergartner. I could see myself putting that on my daughter when my daughter was in preschool, kindergarten, or first grade easily. And it would have ate down on my kid when she was that age, right? When the lady put it on, she was like, okay, well, this is what I'm wearing to the wedding, blah, blah, blah. And then she cuts to like after the wedding or something like that, where she's like, you will not believe it, but I get to that wedding and it's black tie. Like, and my boyfriend didn't tell me that. So I get to this wedding and all of the women have on like black cocktail dresses or black like floor-length gowns, but everybody is like dressed up and I had on this. And see, and it was in that moment my brain said, yes, girl, but you knew you was going to a wedding. You knew you was going to a wedding. So at the very least, why wasn't there a different dress choice? Because the outfit that you had on really did give something else. It gave whimsy, which is fine for a wedding, but not this type of whimsy. Wasn't wedding whimsy. This type of whimsy that she had on was kind of like maybe for her birthday. Like she's the birthday person. She's going out to dinner with her friends, and that's what she wanted to wear. That's what her outfit kind of gave. It did not even give like wedding nowhere. Because at the very least, if I don't know what the dress code is for a wedding, I'm going to hit you with an A-line dress. I'm going to put on an A-line dress in what I consider to be a safe color, right? If there is no dress code printed on the invitation, I'm probably not going to wear black. If they say is not black tie, if they don't specifically state, oh, this is black tie, then yeah, I'm probably not gonna wear black, especially if the wedding is during the day. Now, this lady says that she talked about the wedding venue as if that was supposed to help her case for the outfit she picked, but I don't think so. I don't think the venue had anything to do with it. Once they tell you black tie, you put on a black dress, but she didn't know that. She didn't know that. But that's what ends up happening when you take what these young girls are wearing and you try to pass it off as something that we should be wearing. And then you get to a place where everybody is your age and they're like, girl, what do you have on? Like, what do you have on? Which to that point, the bride has come out and has made a video saying like, we talked about her outfit like once she was at the wedding. And I guess the girl saw that she was not in dress code or whatever. Her and the bride actually had a conversation about it. The bride was like, I have since not that she forgave her. I mean, she did forgive her, but she was like, it's not like a thing where you need to forgive somebody. She was like, we just talked about it. There are no hard feelings. So, please don't keep beating her up over this outfit. Was it black tie? No. At the end of the day, am I just as married, even though she had on that Punky Brewster outfit? Yes. So let's leave her alone. I think I did comment on that girl's video, and I think I did say, this just didn't say wedding to me. Even if you didn't know the dress code, you probably could have just went with something more simple, more because it's someone else's wedding. So I don't know that we needed on tulle. Like we probably didn't need on tulle from head to toe at someone else's wedding, especially unicorn tulle, no less. I think we could have saved that for a moment that was more all about us. But anyway, I think dressing in a way that keeps you comfortable is what really matters. So if you are 40 plus and you're still wearing your red lipstick, your skinny jeans and your jean jackets, like, girl, keep doing it. Because if these young people are so lucky as to age another 20 years, guess what? They probably will still be wearing the same stuff that they're wearing now. The things that they will hold on to, the style pieces they'll just identify with the most, they'll hold on to those things. And some of them will end up having children that will tell them, like, Mom, no one's wearing those big baggy jeans anymore. We're wearing cigarette pants. Who remembers cigarette pants? We're wearing skinny jeans. Their children will probably be wearing like pedal pushers and capri pants all over again. Yeah, because everything that comes out comes back around at some point. And they will have their day in style jail here if they live long enough. So, girl, don't let them people bother you. Keep wearing what you want to wear. You know, there was another lady on TikTok who played that whole "how old do I look" game. And I really hate that game. I don't think that's a game that anybody should play with the internet or on the internet. But I'm going to tell the story just because I could not believe it. So she's on the internet saying she's at the hair salon. And I want to say the lady either said she got shingles or she had a rash or something like that, and her doctor thought it was shingles, but she's talking to her hairstylist. Like, you know, as you do, you're sitting in the chair, the hairstylist is like, how's everything been going? That lady was like, girl, I thought I had shingles. My doctor thought I had shingles. And she keeps saying the word shingles, 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 to the point where the woman in the chair next to her overhears the word shingles one too many times. And she's like, oh, well, if you, like, did you get the shingles immunization? Like, how old are you? Because when you're like 60 or whatever, you're eligible for whatever this immunization is that can help reduce the risk of you getting shingles or getting sick from it or whatever. Then the woman who thought she had the shingles was like, you have to be how old to get that immunization? And the lady was like, I think it's about 60, like whatever. But you know, this person, and I don't know if this person was someone who works in the medical field or what, but this person was just kind of like, yeah, basically you seem like you're eligible for that based on what I'm looking at. The lady didn't say that, but the fact that she just assumed the woman was old enough for the immunization made the original woman say, how old do you think I am? Which puts the other person in now a very uncomfortable situation, because now, even though you did not tell that lady she looked 60, you kind of did without saying it. So then they have a whole conversation, and the lady is like, so now I'm coming to you, TikTok, because if this particular woman thought I looked 60, do I really look 60 or not? Well, no, but she didn't ask TikTok if she looked 60. She just asked TikTok, how old do you think I am? This woman had a head full of blonde hair that looked thick and healthy. Like, so you can tell she either stays up on top of them protein treatments or she gets her hair done on a regular basis. I don't know. But then you look at her and you really don't know how old this lady is. She had the guts to ask TikTok. So now, of course, I take the first class Delta flight to those comments, because I have got to see what the people are guessing and if this woman has responded to anybody and if the woman has revealed her real age. Because just looking at her, I definitely thought, well, she could be 55-ish, like 55 to 60. I could see that. And the lady said she had just had a birthday. Please remember that when I reveal this lady's age. She had just had a birthday. Just had a birthday. Her birthday had just happened. The people in them comments was saying everything 50 and up. 50 and up. And not only were they saying she looked 50 or 60, they were telling her why they thought she looked that old, which is why I'm like, this too is a dirty game, but you can't complain when you chose to play. This is a game that you should never play on the internet, because now it is a unanimous, it is a resounding, you don't look the age that you really are. And these are the reasons why. Coming from everybody. I did not see one person guess this woman's correct age. Did not see. And like I said, my own guess was not her correct age. When the woman revealed that she was in fact a fresh 40 years old, I said, now, I turned 42 in a couple months. And I don't know what this particular woman has or has not been doing, but my goodness, and I rarely say this about anybody because I just don't believe in it. Well, for myself, and I feel like most people also just don't need to be like touching their face. I'm like, leave your face alone. Leave your face alone. This particular one, because I've never seen a case like this. I've never seen a case like this, right? I've never seen a case like this. So if that woman is really 40, which I think she is, because she referred to herself as a millennial, she seemed very genuine. Like when she was responding to people in the comments that were giving her tips, because like it got to a point where women were like, well, do you use retinol? Do you use tretinoin? Like, have you thought about, like, girl, it's the wrinkles. Like, you would probably look really younger, but you got to address the wrinkles. The wrinkles are what's taking you to 60. And I fully agree. This lady seemed like a happy, healthy, well, you know, as much as you can see from anybody in the 1 or 2 minutes you see them on TikTok. But she looked like a happy, healthy woman. I think she said she had 2 kids. So, I mean, I know parenting sometimes stresses you out or makes you tired. Certain things just age you. But for what it's worth, she said, I'm good. And I never really realized I presented that old. So the girls were in the comments telling her what creams and things she needed to start using like today. I feel like that lady probably should go a step further and look into some of those non-surgical lifts and things. Who was that came across my timeline recently and they had one and it was remarkable? I think it was a doctor's office that came across my FYP one day and they were just showing the before and after of this lady who had a non-surgical facelift. And because I'm super interested in what the people are doing and how much it costs and all of the things, I clicked to see what all goes into that and how much it costs. It will run you over $1,000 for sure. It does. But it includes like everything I guess they need, like all of the sessions that go into, I guess, tightening your skin, giving your skin that, you know, how everyone's skin now looks like glass. Like everybody has that shiny, smooth, glassy looking skin. That is a procedure that everybody is getting done. That's not a cream. That's not an ointment. It's not a serum. It's not a face wash. It's not a routine that they've stumbled upon that you don't know about. Literally, all of them are going to get these things done at some type of medi-spa. Yeah, let's call it a medi-spa. This particular business is ran by a nurse, though. So I think this one is a true medi-spa because the people that work there and do the procedures are medical professionals. But yeah, you can go, boom, boom, boom. And you don't get cut. You don't, nothing. It's just a time commitment and obviously like a financial one. In this particular woman's case, I feel like that's the only way she's going to take 20 years off of her life because 20 years is a lot. Even 15 is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And if that lady is really 40, then my goodness. My goodness. And she says that she is. So yeah, don't play those games. But also sometimes don't listen to young people. But then sometimes you might come out better listening to the young people, because the young people in her comments were definitely giving her the tools to the trade. Like, girl, I'm only 27 and I do such and such because I don't want to get wrinkles too early. They were in those comments really spilling all of the beauty secrets. There was no gatekeeping there, because I think people really did feel bad for her because she presents one way when really her spirit and her energy really was giving young person. It was giving millennial. What a game to play on the internet. You know, Friday was Halloween, and Halloween is such a big deal in my house because I have 3 children. They like to dress up. They like to go out. They like to go get the candy. They like to go hang out with their friends. They like to come back, show me all that stuff, and it's a time. I make Halloween a big deal for them because it is like it's a fun day. So I put up decorations. I make sure they have certain treats, and I do like a little smorgasbord of assorted foods and offerings. This year I made like blood-colored Kool-Aid, and they never get Kool-Aid. So first of all, the fact that it was Kool-Aid in here, they were like, oh my gosh, you bought sugar and you mixed it with more sugar and we get to actually drink it. What a time to be alive. But I made like blood-colored Kool-Aid, and I poured it into these little like tube things that looked like they were made to hold potion. I bought them. Where did I buy those from? Maybe Walmart, but I had bought them last year, and last year we just never got a chance to use them. I ran out of time. So I was like, let me use these things this year because that'll be super cute. So I made their little potion beverages. My kids went as Alvin and the Chipmunks. My daughter was Alvin, of course, because she is the Alvin of our family. Then my oldest son was Simon, and my youngest child was Theodore. So that was super cute, super simple, super inexpensive. First of all, my daughter already had a red hoodie, so I didn't have to buy that. My sons, I bought them green and blue hoodies for their respective chipmunks. Both hoodies together, $20, because I happened to catch them on Amazon during a sale. And then I just had to buy a kit with the ears and the glasses for Simon. I think that kit was $23. The best Halloween we've had in a long time as far as energy and effort into the costumes go. So they get dressed up. You know, we're doing our Halloween stuff. I put out games for them so they can like play games before they go trick or treat. You know, like I make it a thing. I was not going to dress up this Halloween because in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't have a costume that's going to allow me to be comfortable with my colostomy bag. So it'll be fine if I don't dress up. But then as the day kept going, my kids kept asking, like, are you going to dress up for Halloween? Like, oh, but you always dress up, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, well, I do have a box of costumes in the basement that I could dig through, and let's see what we have down there. So I'm looking in my Barney bag because I'm sure there's something in there that I could probably reuse or do. And I came across a black cat suit that I had bought last year but never used, because once it got here and I tried it on, I was like, oh gosh, no, I can't wear this to pass out candy, or this is not going to be a good Halloween situation because this is too much. This is like for a grown-up's Halloween party somewhere, not for what I'm doing here, which is family focus. So I didn't use it. But I had purchased the bodysuit. I had purchased gloves that had like claws on them, and I had purchased the mask. So I had a full cat costume that I could wear. So then I thought about it and I was like, well, you know what? If you could put on something to go underneath the cat suit to cover up some of these cutouts, you probably could make this work. And for the second or two that the door is open that you're passing out candy, no one probably is even going to really be looking at your costume that hard. So Tia, just dress up for the kids and it'll be fine. Well, I try on the bodysuit and I'm like, well, it's not tight. It's not a tight, like, body constricting suit. So my colostomy bag actually ended up being fine in there. I ended up finding or remembering that I had a black turtleneck that I normally would wear to go running when it's cold outside, because it's a good layering piece because it's not thick. I remembered that I had that. So I was like, well, I could put that on to cover up the cutouts from the waist up, right? I'll do the bodysuit. And I'll just put on some red lipstick, the matte lipstick that we talked about earlier. I was like, and we'll just call it a day. I'll be dressed up. I do that, and the little costume came out so cute. And how I know the costume was cute, because when some of these teenage girls rang my doorbell and I opened the door, they were like, oh my God, I love your costume. And young people might tell you a joke, but they don't tell you a lie. They don't, unless they're trying to convince you to wear some of that stuff we talked about earlier, in which case you just decide that you cannot give them credit for anything, right? But they were like, oh, you look so cute. We love your costume. And I was like, okay, well, thanks. Because I started not to even dress up. And so here I am. But it was fun, and I'm glad that I did it. Something about the festiveness of Halloween does automatically put me into like the spirit of this time of year, because it is so fun. It catapults me into the holiday season. As I'm on the phone with you right now, The Holiday is playing on my TV, the movie with Cameron Diaz. I love it. And Kate Winslet. I love this movie, and I watch it over and over again every holiday season. So I'm ready. My daughter actually asked for her Christmas tree to get put up yesterday, so I'm waiting to see how long it's going to take my husband to go down there and start bringing them Christmas trees up. I told him, you should just go ahead and do it today, buddy. Go ahead and do it today and get it over with, because if not, she's going to ask you every day until it's done, right? So do yourself a favor. But yeah, so I'm like, it's time to start trying to transition into some of those fun vibes for the holiday. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the holidays this year, and I'm in full agreement with a lot of the things I'm seeing. I have already told my kids, when you make those Christmas lists this year, because your grandparents are going to ask what you want for Christmas, only ask for the things you either know you need or something that you really want. Like things that your mama is not going to be quick to spend money on all throughout the year. Something like video games, something like Robux, things that your mommy doesn't like spending money on. Ask your grandparents for that, because they're going to ask you what you want for Christmas. So there you go. There you go. And your parents will focus on getting you the things you actually need, like clothes, shoes, coats, things of that nature. So I actually told them before I came up here to call y'all to go ahead and make a Christmas list, so that when those calls start coming in about what can we get the kids for Christmas, I can say, oh, grandma, oh, grandpa, this is what your sweet grandchild said that they would like this year. How was your Halloween? I hope it was good. Was it fun? Do you get into, the Halloween of it all? Or are you like, girl, no, that is not what we do. That's not what we do around here. And I think when you are a person that maybe grows up going to church, doing different things, maybe Halloween is something that you kind of skip over. As a girl that grew up in the church, we really didn't get to do Halloween big back then, like when I was a kid. And back then, churches, or at least none of the ones I knew, they weren't even doing trunk or treats back then. It was just kind of like, no, y'all ain't going trick or treating. But then I think as time has changed and thoughts and things have evolved, you notice that places in the community start offering things like trunk or treats and all of that. And I think that's a good option for the people that want to take advantage of those. But I do really feel like it's just something special about doing stuff here at the house for them and making it special. Like when my kids came home from school and they saw the decorations, they were like, oh my gosh, Mom, yes. Like, we didn't think you were still going to do it because of everything, that you've been through and you've got going on. So they were just so genuinely happy, truly, just to see that, like, Mama might take a licking, but she gonna keep on ticking for some of this stuff. And for these things that I know they have come to expect as like their childhood core memories, like I'm going to step up and try to do that for them every time. So it made me happy to do that for them on Friday. Let's cover some of this TV stuff. And then I got to go back downstairs and make sure these children don't have Christmas lists that are on the front and back of a piece of paper. Reasonable Doubt. It opened up with Lewis boxing. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what that had to do with the remainder of the episode. Like when it opened and he was boxing, I was like, okay, Lewis, well, we didn't know. We didn't know that that's what all you got going on. And maybe that's why Jax keeps you around. Because she knew we didn't know. But then, as Lewis tends to do, as the episode went on, I was right back to where I started with, like, Jax, get him out of there. Get him out of there. When they were sitting on that bench and he came clean about knowing about Chelsea, or he was apologizing for, like, knowing about Chelsea, the way she was looking at him, like, and before she kissed him, she definitely had a look on her face yeah, like I'm over this. Like I'm over you. I'm over this. And you always got too much going on. Lori Harvey's role on this show, I don't know what I was going to expect from her, but I think she far exceeded my expectations. Her acting was actually good. People online were joking that it wasn't that believable because it's not believable that she, like, and these are their words, that she would be broke. But I thought she did a good job. Like, I thought her role looked believable. I thought her acting was good. And I'm interested in seeing where else she goes on this show. Hopefully they will bring her back. I don't know. But yeah, I thought Lori did good. We still don't know who killed Wendy. At this point, I don't even know if I care. I don't know if it's the mama, the sister, or if it's Ozzy. And Ozzy just doesn't remember doing it. I don't know. I do feel like this case is getting drug out a lot longer than maybe some of the cases in previous seasons. I kind of want them to move away from making the show so much about her case. And I don't know. I feel like the show needs a better balance because I feel like this season, the show has definitely been a lot about the case and who killed Wendy. And I feel like her personal life has taken like a back seat to the actual case. And I think I preferred it when the show seemed like it was more about Jax and her life and her relationships, her friendships, and like her job was like the subplot. I don't know, but it don't matter. I'm going to keep watching. And when the next season come out, I'm going to watch that too. Before we wrap, we got to talk about some of these Halloween costumes that we saw online. Number one, Taraji P. Henson turned Janet Jackson every which way but loose this holiday. Well, I don't consider Halloween a holiday. That was a slip of the tongue. But she was every form of Janet Jackson you can think of. She was all of the Janets. And she looked good as Janet. I didn't realize how much Taraji P. Henson looked like Janet Jackson until she became Janet Jackson. And I don't know if she's doing this because she's now in the Why Did I Get Married movie, like the new one that's coming out. People are saying that she's in it because she's going to assume Janet's role, like she's going to be Janet Jackson's character. I don't know if that's true or if she's just in the movie as a new character that we haven't met yet. But if she is Janet in that movie, then that makes perfectly good sense why she would do this. That was great promo for the movie. If she chose to be Janet Jackson for Halloween because people were making fun of the fact that she is going to be Janet's character in that movie, then I think this is just really good trolling. Either way, her costumes were like perfect. Like she just looked so good as all of the interpretations of Janet Jackson. Winnie Harlow's costume as Whitney Houston made me so upset. I feel like it was unnecessary. It wasn't needed. Nobody asked for that. And out of all of the Whitneys that you could have been, You did not have to be that one. That one was just tacky. And even if you were going to dress up as Whitney with that dress on and like with that wig, I feel like we didn't need a video. And maybe that's where it crossed the line. Like, it's one thing to dress up as Whitney and like look like her. It's another thing to do a video that doesn't portray Whitney in the best light. And of course, I mean, everybody knows Whitney's story, so I'm not trying to say that we don't. But I just feel like it was kind of disgusting and tacky, and we really didn't need that. And I say that as someone who always wants to only see Whitney in the best light. Yes, I think everybody understands what I'm trying to say. And if you haven't seen Winnie Harlow as Whitney, you're not missing out on anything. Like, it was just bad and it was done in poor taste. But people say this is not the first time that she's done something like that. I don't follow her enough to know what else she's done that's off-putting. But this certainly was just like bad. It's kind of like, no one told you in your circle that this was going to be bad or it would be received poorly. Like, everybody around you thought that that was funny. It can't be. It can't be. It cannot be. And that is why it pays to have friends who maybe aren't in your direct age bracket. Because if I had said that I was going to dress up as that kind of Whitney and that I was going to make this, and I had shared that with my friends would have said to me, like, Tia, that's not it. That's not what you want to do. Like, why don't you pick I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney, or I'm Your Baby Tonight, Whitney, or Bodyguard, Whitney. Waiting to Exhale, Whitney. Like, there are so many Whitneys you could have picked. Preacher's Wife, Whitney. Any Whitney that's been on, let's see, one of her earlier TV appearances. You could have been any Whitney. You didn't have to be that one. And right before we go, girl, what are you thinking? Did you know that your husband, girlfriend, I'm not thinking about him, but you married him? Did you know I made him leave? Did you know he planned to stay with me? He wasn't man enough for me. And when I saw that particular costume paying homage to Toni Braxton, and how well that was done, the execution, the flawless execution of it all, I said, oh, I don't even know which way to go with this, because obviously the video is delicious. She looks amazing. And so you could just take it as that, like, this is a great costume honoring Toni Braxton. In a nutshell, if that was it, that would have been just fine too. But we know that particular costume and that song, because you can honor Toni Braxton by being her for Halloween, and you could have picked 7 Whole Days, Breathe Again, How Many Ways. Like, you could have picked any song, but you picked He Wasn't Man Enough for Me. And that is just so delightful to my spirit, because we all know that song. We all know what that song is about. We all remember when Toni made that song because someone in her past had her real messed up. Girl, he wasn't man enough for me, but you married him. So, baby, that's your problem now, because I ain't think about him and I ain't think about you. I just know that when that video came out, both of them together and separately, I might assume, were somewhere sweating. I imagine that Travis was somewhere sweating because now he remembers that the body was T. Now he remembers, like, oh, that girl really did look good. Now he remembers that is where I could have been. I'm not there anymore because left to my own devices, clearly I make poor choices, right? He probably had to sneak and watch that video so many times. I imagine his phone getting blown up from people being like, have you seen this? Have you seen it? I know you've seen it in real life years ago, but have you seen it today? Because today it is fresh and new and she's got a new message for you. She's got a new message for you and that lady that you're about to marry. Now, I imagine that she, in all of her witty lyricism, was fresh out of words on that day. She was probably rendered speechless when she saw that not only did her little whack album not make that lady crawl into a hole where she was going to hide for the duration of whatever this era is that singing lady is trying to be in, she was probably in awe because, number one, what we saw Kayla Nicole do, that was full-on showgirl. The costume, the flawless skin, the glowiness, the dewiness, the all of it. The dance moves, it was so, like if you got to see the behind the scenes video where the choreographer was like talking her through the moves, it was given Tony, and you know how Tony likes to rock her head from side to side. It was giving all the things it was supposed to. But most importantly, it was giving a good message. And that message was, now, girl, you have been with that man long enough. When y'all first got together, I let it ride. You and your fans came at me for just being his ex-girlfriend, and I let that go, right? You're coming at me again in this new, what you're calling an album. You're coming at me again. For what reason, I don't know, because you've been with him now for quite some time. There's no reason for either one of y'all to still be thinking about little old me over here, right? But since you wanted to talk about me in your little voice memos that you're selling to these people, since you wanted to try to subtweet me in your songs, now I have to address you publicly because you bought that album to the public, and now I have to bring all this body back to the public with a message for you. And the message is a couple things. Girl, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I bet you won't talk about me no more. That's number one. Number one, I bet you won't. Did you know that is your husband now? Did you know? Because if you knew and accepted him as your husband, you wouldn't be worried about nobody that came before you. Number two. Number three, did you know that I'm not thinking about him? Have you seen me? Have you seen me in all of my 33-year-old glory that hits the gym? And y'all know I'm a fitness girly. So I've been following Kayla Nicole for her gym inspiration. Girl stays in the gym. Stays in the gym. Did you know that I'm not thinking about him? Because I'm thinking about all the things that I have going on, right? I'm not thinking about him. But again, you accepted his proposal, but you're marrying him. But I bet you didn't know that I made him leave because he was choosing to stay with me. But I had to remind him that he wasn't man enough for me. He wasn't. He wasn't. Now, he might be somebody new with you, and that's okay. You go ahead and receive that and accept it, and you move forward with it. But I don't want him. He wasn't man enough for me. He wasn't man enough for me then. He's not man enough for me certainly now. Certainly now. Certainly now. He's not man enough for me. And as a matter of fact, all of the reasons that I made him leave have only been confirmed since he left. I feel good in my decision. I don't regret it at all. Unless you forget for 1 second that I might want your man, let's also remember 2 things. Number one, I made him leave. Do you know he planned to stay with me? Remember that. And just in case you forget that, oh, honey, you can always replay this video over and over and over again, because us that ain't got nothing to do with none of this, we have watched it over and over and over again. And it just brings me so much joy. The level of pettiness, I love it. I eat it up because I'm like, what a clever way to respond to a showgirl, from one showgirl to another. Since this is the language you understand, from one showgirl to another. He wasn't man enough for me. From one showgirl to another. I loved it. I thought the costume was perfect. I thought the video execution was just immaculate. The way it flips from Kayla to Tony, from Kayla to Tony, from Kayla to Tony. I mean, does it get any better than that? Hands down, my favorite Halloween moment of Friday, for sure. So happy for her. So happy for Toni Braxton, because I know her streams probably went up. Now, if you are an elder millennial like myself, Toni Braxton is probably already on rotation in your streaming devices. I hope her streams went up. I do know that Toni has a movie about this particular song coming to Lifetime. I think it comes out November 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll all be tuning in at this point. Like, we've got to watch it, because now we've got to reach the ending of this whole situation. That was so good to me. It was so good. I would love to know anybody else's thoughts on it. I think we're all in agreement. She looked good. It was done well. And I hope it gave just the right amount of sting that it needed to give, which basically says, don't come for me unless I send it for you. When really, don't come for me at all. Don't come for me at all. You could have sat over there and enjoyed your man. You could have sat there and made your voice memos. And you could have left me out of them. But since you didn't, now I gotta remind you, girl. I gotta remind you. What are you thinking? Do you know? I love it. I love it. Some kind of good to me. Well, girl, that's it. Let me go downstairs now, because I hear my dog barking and I hear people responding to said dog. And I need to go down there and figure that out. Remember, when you're out, say something nice to somebody. Make another woman's day. Compliment her. Bring a smile to her face. And I hope the same is done to you in return. Don't compete. Don't compare. Don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And never knock another woman's hustle. I'll talk to you in a couple days, girl. Love you. Bye.